Readers Entertainment Radio presents Booklights with your host, author Lisa Kessler. Booklights, where we're shining a light on good books.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to spooky season on Booklights. Everybody who is a frequent listener knows that we highlight all things spooky during the month of October. And we're so excited. You guys are in for such a treat because today we have Darkness Prevails and Carman Carrion on together to discuss. They actually have two spooky books that you guys should all go grab. Phantom Phenomenon and Freaky Folklore. So if you haven't read their books yet, you probably have listened to their podcast. So Darkness Prevails runs the Eeriecast, and I'll go ahead and read their bio so you can get to know them a little better. Darkness Prevails is a spooky storyteller extraordinaire hailing from the Ozarks of Arkansas. When he's not busy spinning yarns about things that go bump in the night on Eeriecast, the horror podcast network, or on his wildly successful YouTube channel, Darkness Prevails can often be found wandering through the misty woods searching for evidence of Bigfoot, or at least an excuse to use his night vision goggles. And right, who doesn't need that? Darkness Prevails is a force to be reckoned with the horror genre. And he's also the author of Freaky Folklore and Phantom Phenomenon. We're going to talk a little bit about both today. And Carman, I didn't know you were going to be here, so I don't have a bio on you, but you host one of the Eeriecast podcasts, don't you?
I do too, actually.
Oh, tell us. Can you tell us which ones?
Freaky Folklore and Destination Terror.
Oh, nice. So you were involved in writing Freaky Folklore too, right?
Yes.
We're so excited you're here. That's awesome. So
thank you for having us on, Lisa. And hello, everyone. Darkness here.
Yes, hello.
If you've ever wondered what the darkness sounds like, now you know.
There you go. Yeah.
So I guess I wanted to ask you guys first, what was the inspiration behind, because you have a very successful podcast, what made you go, hey, we should write a book?
Well, just one correction real quick. We actually have three books out. Freaky Folklore released earlier this year. And then we almost had a nearly simultaneous release of Phantom Phenomena right next to one called Appalachian Folklore Unveiled. And back to your question about the what inspired us to write a book.
Right.
Well, I've always wanted to get into the publishing and writing space. We actually tried doing some indie publishing for some horror novels, and I've had fans request that the stories they send us we should make into compilations that are themed and then publish those. And I never really had the correct resources or know-how to really get that done and to reach the proper audience until Corto Publishing reached out. And they said, hey, we like what you do. We think you're creepy. Let's make some books together. So we made some beautiful books, coffee table style books. They are. I'm very proud of them. Very proud of what me and Carman have put together here. It's really a dream come true to be approached to publish, even though it's not like the biggest publishing deal, but I'm super proud. I'm very happy that we could be here to have our books on, our names on some books. And I saw yesterday, they weren't at our local bookstores, but now they are. I checked Barnes & Noble and they're on the shelves right now. I would love to go in person and take a picture.
Yes, you need some in the wild photos.
Absolutely. So that's where we were on our book publishing journey, and I feel very blessed.
Yeah. And as far as like your podcast goes, I know that some of your podcasts, you actually accept submissions for people to write short stories, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the primary form of our content at this point for at least three of our shows.
Okay. So when you started putting together these compilation books with all the different monsters and that kind of thing, how different was that for you? Because you did research. I really loved in Freaky Folklore, you have different monsters from all over the world. And I write paranormal fiction, so I love learning about different, and you had monsters I had never even heard of. So how'd you guys go about all of that?
With Freaky Folklore and Appalachian Folklore Unveiled, I let Carman take the lead on those because that's her territory. primarily her territory. So I am honest when I say she wrote and compiled and did all the work for about at least 95% of those books herself. She chose the monsters, she chose the locations, she chose much of the factoids and all that. With Freaky Folklore, she sent me lists for pre-approval, which we would then send to our publishers to see what they thought. But Carmen, how did you choose those monsters?
Well, it was kind of personal actually, because I wanted to make sure that each set of monsters for each location around the world would make those people proud to read. That's like, hey, that's from where that monster's from where I'm from. I heard about that when I was little. So I wanted to make sure we had a good collection. I wanted them to be creepy and fascinating. So I just did my best to pick what I thought someone would pick that was from each area.
That's so cool. So you learned about some new monsters then too.
Oh, absolutely.
Some of them were very freaky. I was like, oh, this is so good.
Yes.
So the illustrations, for people who haven't picked up the book yet, but I know you're going to, the illustrations are really fantastic. How did you guys work that out? Or did the publisher handle that?
I wish they had told us who did it, because I love those illustrations too. They're very, they're not too overboard, they're very family friendly in a way, and a creepy kids kind of way, where it reminds me of scary stories to tell in the dark, where it's not too much and it makes kids want to get into horror. But yeah, the publisher handled all the art for all the books. I did give them recommendations to some personal artists, but I'm not sure if they reached out to them. But I think they did a great job. Love the art in there. We get a lot of compliments on Freaky Folklore's illustrations.
Yeah, and I felt like they were, for me, it felt like the illustrations were shadowy enough that you could take your own impression of that monster and see it. And, they weren't like articulated down to every detail. So I feel like everyone who reads the book will conjure the right monster,
For sure. Imagination is like 90% of terror. And
yes.
My favorite stories I've ever received, a lot of them are more implied horror, right? You don't see the monster. You don't directly touch the ghost or anything like that. But those leave me with the most chills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always think back to the original Jaws, where everyone's talking about how terrifying it is because for so much of the movie, you don't see the monster. And that's, your brain is so much scarier than anything that they could put on the screen,
Yeah, that ocean horror is its own thing for sure. And not seeing enough is a big part of it.
Yes, definitely. Well, I want to ask Carmen, since you did a whole bunch of the research. I know when I research books, I always end up posting blogs where I'm like, book research adventures, I was in a blizzard and all of this weird stuff. But when you were researching, even if you didn't actually go to the places, sometimes you go down these research, rabbit holes and you discover all kinds of things you never expected. Were there any research adventures for you when you were doing these books where you went, oh my gosh, or you found something totally different than what you thought you were looking for?
Yeah, Carmen, where have you been exactly?
Well, as far as research goes, wow, all around the world. But nothing comes to mind right now as far as something that blows my mind or shocked me. I mean, that seems to happen with everything I research, especially if it's something I've never heard of before.
Right. Or you think you're looking for one thing and then you start researching and all of the surprises that come up, you're like, oh my gosh, this is much scarier.
Oh, yes. And, I like to say that I have this thing called squirrels that distract me. Because I will be researching a monster and I'll find a new one, and before you know it, I'm chasing that squirrel and I've forgotten what I'm doing because there's so much more folklore from one area than just the one thing I'm researching. So
those carnivorous predatory squirrels. Huh?
Yes. Yeah, wasn't that in Up from Disney with the dog and he's like squirrel?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's where. Yeah, I've got all kinds of squirrels in my head every day.
I can totally relate, like plot bunnies, they're everywhere.
Mhm.
So, how different was it for you guys to actually go into producing a book versus producing a podcast? Because you write for both, but how different was it for you?
For my Phantom Phenomena book, which is the one that I put the most effort into of these three, it wasn't too different. My channel on YouTube and my podcasts, we do a lot of compilation episodes where I'll take previous stories I told and I'll put them together under a common theme. So you got stuff like Wendigo stories and camping stories for several hours worth of content. And for Phantom Phenomena, it was just that times several different categories. So it wasn't too hard to do. And since I already had a bunch of stories in my back catalog labeled as my favorite, I keep track of all the scariest ones. If one gives me the creeps or gives me goosebumps, I always make sure to put a label next to it, like this one. Yes, this one right here. And so I just looked through that catalog, lined up the themes, and had my friend JRT McMahon help me edit. He did the field notes for it and made sure they were readable and enjoyable. So it really wasn't too different for me. But I'm not sure about Carmen's books. What do you think?
Well, for me, it was different because when I write for the podcast, I've become very comfortable with my listeners, and I don't know, it just feels so natural now. And writing for the book, I felt so much more personal pressure because, well, with a book, you can't change anything later.
Right.
With a podcast or recording, you can come back later and say, "Hey guys, I'm sorry that sounded terrible," or "I got this wrong." But with a book, that just feels so permanent, and you want to get it right the first time.
For sure. And
Mhm.
also with a book too, it feels like because I write books, but I'm also do the Book Lights podcast. And when it's on a podcast, they can hear your voice. So you can get, points across in another way. And with the written word, it's hard to write down, this is sarcasm, or, or I put this in to lighten things up.
Yes. The difference between a phone call and a text.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Are you super happy with the final product?
I am, absolutely. All the books.
Oh, I definitely was. I did a quick look at all three of them right before this, and I was just filled with joy. Every time I open those books, I'm just like, wow, this is so cool.
It's very cool. They came out great. And that kind of makes me wonder what's next for you. Are you going to write more books? Did you have so much fun that you're like, let's do it? Or are these what you wanted to, work with the podcasts, or what's your plan for the future?
Our plan on the book end is to, we have one more underway with Quarto as we speak. Not sure if we can speak about that just yet. But,
top secret, guys.
It's top secret. Yeah, another one's coming. In the meantime, we are editing that, putting it together, trying to maximize its quality. And until it releases, I will be trying my best to find ways to get attention for our current books. Freaky Folklore is pretty popular. Appalachian Folklore Unveiled is doing well. The runt of the litter right now is Phantom Phenomena, but I think it's because it came at the tail end of 2 quick releases. And I'm drumming up some review copies to folks to try to get some honest reviews from people. And I do plan, if you don't mind me saying, I do plan on giving away 10 people a hardcover copy of Appalachian Folklore Unveiled and Phantom Phenomena to folks who want a signed copy of each of those. And my only request is, if you do get that from us, leave an honest review on Amazon and Barnes & Noble to help us reach more people. But if you want to enter, I will just plug it real quick. Follow me at Dark Prevails on Twitter, or I guess it's X now, and send us a message that says, or send us a tweet that says #FolkloreFreak, and draw us a little quick sketch of your scariest or favorite monster in folklore.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So everybody, I will put that also in the show notes so that people can enter that. So just go on Twitter/X and tweet to you with the hashtag. Can you tell them one more time?
You can follow me and tweet at me at Dark Prevails, and the hashtag is Folklore Freak. Draw us a little sketch of your favorite folklore monster, and we won't be judging quality. It's just going to be random. We want to see what you come up with, though.
So everybody, you get your little stick people out and go for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Well, I have to ask because there in Phantom Phenomenon and in Freaky Folklore, there are so many monsters. And I want to ask each of you, is there one that resonates more with you than another? I mean, which is your favorite monster?
Okay, if you want me to pick just one, my favorite is Baba Yaga.
Ah, nice pick. Okay, I like it.
I mean,
Do you want to tell everybody why?
Well, she's a shapeshifter
Mhm.
and she's magic. So she's tricky. But what gets cooler than a witch who has a house with chicken's feet?
Yes, that was what I was going to say. She has a really cool house.
She does.
I love that. All right. And what about you, Darkness?
I do like Carmen's choice of Baba Yaga. It's just got the maximum weirdness factor. For me, canine and wolf-like creatures have always just scared the bejesus out of me. So at first it was werewolves and then dogman, like the Bray Road Beast and stuff like that. But then in my early teenage years, I stumbled upon La Bête du Gévaudan, which was a wolf-like creature back in France in the 15 or 1600s that allegedly killed hundreds of people. And it only stopped by chance, really. They but they got some dragoons to hunt wolves down back in the day. And they killed some wolves and the killing stopped, but none of the wolves they killed matched the descriptions of the beast itself. So it's more like it decided to go its own way. And what scared me as a teenager was that this was a real historical account. They have a statue and documents of it in France, and there's nothing stopping it from happening again. So it's like, what the heck was that? And can I go outside today? I don't know.
Yeah, I hope he didn't cross the Atlantic.
Yeah, I hope he can't swim.
Right? That makes me think of that. The Quiet Place just had their day one, which was like, I guess, the prequel of the monsters arriving, and they can't swim. And I thought, oh, that's, because I think what makes a really good monster story or movie or whatever is they have to have some weak spot. There has to be an Achilles heel of some kind. And yes, those creatures in that world can't see, but they can hear so well. And and they're super strong and fast, but they can't swim. And I think that's,
I agree with you. When I watch a scary movie about ghosts or monsters and the creature, the antagonist itself doesn't follow a set rules, like a set path of rules or whatever, it doesn't hook me as much. I remember watching, was it The Nun?
Mm-hmm.
The first spin-off movie featuring the nun as the main antagonist for the Conjuring universe. It kind of irritated me because she just seemed all powerful.
Right.
And I was like, how are you supposed to fight this in a believable way? So I totally agree with you.
Yeah, there needs to be something, salt or, whatever. There has to be something, because otherwise, as for me anyway, as a reader, as a watcher, if it's a movie or whatever, is if it's all powerful, then you've already lost.
Exactly.
There needs to be one thing where you're like, maybe she'll, get the sunlight in there. I love the very first Fright Night movie. And I think I can spoil it because it came out in the 80s. So, and if you haven't watched it, you have to watch it. Best monster makeup. But in that very first Fright Night, the vampires had the traditional can't be in the daylight kind of thing, and the big final battle, they're in the basement and they're losing, and the kid picks up a rock and throws it through the window and the sunlight comes in. And it was like, because you had no idea if it was day or night by the time they were fighting in there. So anyway, it felt really good as a watcher to go, oh my gosh, they got him,
Yeah, Fright Night, the original Fright Night is such a classic film. Yeah. If you haven't seen that and you're a horror fan, get on it.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Horror movies need some hope so that there's struggle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Because there's nothing to struggle for if there isn't a way. There has to be at
exactly.
least one way. That kind of dovetails right into because it's spooky season. I'm asking everyone favorite Halloween movie recs, for people to put on their TBR for Spooky Day.
This is a big debate among holiday enjoyers. With Halloween, the movie simply just has to be a horror film, and it's considered a Halloween movie. So for me, I'm going to be watching John Carpenter's The Thing for the 1,000th time because I worship that movie. Freaking love it. Best practical effects ever, in my opinion. And it was the movie that scarred me for life when I was a little kid. So y'all could probably thank John Carpenter for giving me the obsession with horror that I have now. What about you, Carmen?
Well, this isn't exactly a straight answer because I don't have just one. But for Halloween, my daughter gets out the calendar and she writes down a movie for every day. And we mark off that list. And she's got Slasher Week, Werewolf Week. I can't remember what the other ones were. But I don't know. For me, every season, I got my big start when I was a kid from Silver Bullet. So I have to have at least half a dozen werewolf movies.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is I do a Halloween movie countdown every year and I swap out because there's only 31 days. So I'm constantly swapping them out. But what do you think for favorite werewolf movie?
Oh, yeah. Favorite werewolf movie. That's a tough one.
Right? There's so many good ones. Yeah, there's so many good ones.
Mine is two. Like I said, Silver Bullet and American Werewolf in London. I like the oldies.
Great one. American Werewolf in London. My favorite part is that it puts enough humor in it that even though it's terrifying, there's enough humor in there for you to lighten back up. I mean, every time he goes in the movie theater and his friend is more decomposed, it's fantastic.
It is.
Every time I watch a werewolf movie, even as an adult, it like reinstates my fear of the dark, and I have trouble sleeping that night, especially the more effective werewolf films. Call me baby if you want, but they just scare me so bad. My favorite werewolf films, they're going to be a tie, like a 3-4 way tie, but Ginger Snaps is so good. The werewolf in that is disgustingly creepy. I really love Dog Soldiers werewolves, even though they got like big long ballerina feet and legs. They're very, very terrifying to behold. American Werewolf in London probably has the best werewolf design of all time.
Mm-hmm.
What else is
there? Guillermo del Toro, the Wolfman that they did with Anthony Hopkins. For me, the special effects of him shifting into a wolf, fantastic.
Oh yeah,
it's horrific.
I love that.
Just watching him shift, I
love that the transformation sequence of every horror, like a werewolf film, is a big thing for all us fans. I'm always looking forward to what they do with that with these new werewolf films. I am looking forward to Werewolves. Have you seen the trailer to that? It's coming out.
No.
I think, November or December. But it's basically The Purge with werewolves.
Okay.
Yeah. So keep that on your radar. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was coming. Why wouldn't they get it out by Halloween? Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? There's an Amazon movie that they didn't get out in time for Halloween. I think I watched it in January, but it made my list this year, and it's called Totally Killer. Have you guys seen it?
No, haven't even heard of it.
Oh, you got to find it. It's on Amazon Prime, and I think it's a Prime movie that they made. It has a great cast, but basically it takes place in the 80s, and it says murder is so 1987 or something like that. But the way they wove it together was so good. It's like they took Back to the Future and the 80s slasher films and put them together. So this girl has a very overprotective mother, and her mom was the only survivor of the serial killer in the 80s. And that's why her mom is so overprotective and you can't go out on Halloween. And somehow the girl goes back in time and finds her mom in high school. And so she discovers who the killer is, and the killer tries to come forward. Anyway, it was really fantastic. So totally killer. Highly recommend.
I'm gonna write that down. It sounds wild enough that I would enjoy it.
Yeah, it was very good. So next up, favorite Halloween costumes, guys.
We've seen some cool ones. I don't really get dressed up anymore. Little too old with too many back problems at this point. But
you are never too old.
my kids, the daughter's going as Bingo from Bluey this year, and my son's going as a Ninja Turtle. I don't remember which one, maybe Leonardo. But I remember just being a vampire a couple of years.
Or a witch.
You would be a witch?
Witch, Carman, the Celtic witch.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, we're very basic over here at Eeriecast.
Well, zombies are always fun too, because you can do anything with the zombie.
True. And you can get really creative now because zombie movies have really changed, like which one? Warm Bodies. My daughter took me to see Warm Bodies. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm never falling in love with a zombie. And then I'm like, oh my God, I love him. So anyways, yeah, zombies now, their gamut is so wide on those. Probably the most creative one that I've ever seen is my daughter's friend in high school came over and was just covered in candy wrappers and trash and cups. And I'm like, what the heck are you? And he goes, I'm the floor of a movie theater.
There you go.
I saw one of those recently, actually, online.
I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So some people get very, very creative for their Halloween costumes. I want to just really quick before we run out of time. How can people listen to your podcast? All the horror lovers out there, how do they find you?
To find us, just search for Eeriecast on your favorite podcast platform or app, or go to Eeriecast.com. We have links to everything there. You're going to love what you find because a lot of our shows have over 100 episodes. Unexplained Encounters is an hour per episode, and there's like 500 episodes almost. So you'll be listening for years to come.
All the spooky, all the time.
Always, yeah.
And you have at Eeriecast, you have like 4 different podcasts. Did I see? How many different ones?
I got to keep track of them myself. We have Unexplained Encounters, Alone in the Woods, and Tales from the Break Room, which are ones I host. Unexplained Encounters is your unexplained stories that happen anywhere. Ghosts, goblins, creatures, things you can't explain. Tales from the Break Room is job-related stories, which is really fun. I love doing that show. It's a good change of pace, creepy customers, creepy coworkers, stuff like that, and some ghost stories, even creature encounters. You might find a werewolf in the parking lot. Who knows? And Alone in the Woods is anything scary and forest related. So that's kind of like its own focused theme right there. Our other shows, Carman hosts Destination Terror, which is folklore and horror based on locations.
Mm-hmm.
And Freaky Folklore, which is a documentary / fiction horror series where she tells a folklore subject, such as maybe a skinwalker, what a skinwalker is, its history, all the facts behind it, and then gives you a story of what it would be like to encounter a skinwalker.
Ooh.
Beyond that, we have, let me double check, make sure I don't get it wrong. Redwood Bureau is one of my favorite shows we do. I have a showrunner who does that and takes care of it, but it's basically like SCP meets the X-Files, where every episode is a new fictional sci-fi monster that does something crazy or is terrifying in some way. And you get, at the intro and outro, you get some facts and documentary style, like documentation on the creature. And in the middle is a story from the records of that creature. So who encountered it and what happened to them? What is their fate? And other than that, I do host a silly, scary gameplay podcast where you can either watch or listen, where me and some friends just play scary games and talk naughty.
Like video games?
Video games, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That one's called Darkness Plays.
Fun. All right. Well, everyone, go out and grab Freaky Folklore, Phantom Phenomenon, and Appalachian Folklore Unveiled is coming out soon. There also, if you check in the show notes, there is a contest for 10 signed copies of it's Freaky Folklore, right?
Freaky Folklore and
Okay.
Appalachian Folklore Unveiled. You'll get both.
Oh, wow. Wow, you guys. So get on X and tweet to Dark Prevails your best stick figure drawing of monsters that scare you with the hashtag folklore freak.
Absolutely, yes.
All
We want
right.
to see what you come up with.
I can't wait. Well, thanks so much for being here, you guys. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your spooky season. And everyone run out and grab those books. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. They are fantastic.
Absolutely, yes. I just want to mention real quick, my favorite story in this book is going to be the very first one in Phantom Phenomena, Weatherman and the Cuyahoga Valley Buzzer. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but it's very, very creepy. But you'll have to get the book to find out what happens.
Oh, I like it. There's a little teaser. And do you want to give us a teaser for Freaky Folklore, Carman?
Yeah, what was your favorite entry or the spookiest entry in that
Oh, the
book?
Skinwalker story. That is my that's my favorite story.
Skinwalkers can be a very terrifying thought. It reminds me kind of body snatchers. So definitely check those out, guys. You are in for a spooky treat. And thanks again for being on today.
Thank you very much, Lisa,
Yes,
for having
thank
us
you,
on.
Lisa.
And we appreciate everyone listening for giving us a chance to come on and tell you about what we do.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on Booklights. Be sure to connect with us at www.readersentertainment.com for articles, blogs, videos, and podcasts that matter to readers.